Good morning, everybody. Good Tuesday morning. It's cold. It's not as cold as it has been, but it's starting to sprinkle just this little tiny light sprinkle, and I'm so sick of it because I just had got in my car and was getting ready to head to go get me a walk. I didn't get to yesterday. I had an appointment scheduled. I made a video yesterday and I ended up not posting it because after I re-listened to it, I realized that it kind of sounded like a sad sack, woe is me, feel sorry for me kind of thing. And sure, I gotta turn on a little heat. My hands are like icicles. You hear me rubbing them together, trying to get them warm. I hope it doesn't start really raining, but I had to come out anyway. I have to get a few things done today anyway, but I wanted to say thanks to anybody who watched my videos that I did post yesterday. I posted that one this morning. I had made it yesterday. I didn't get around to posting it last night. Got interested in a TV show. Somebody coming walking down the road. I guess he's going to try to jump in front of me. My brother-in-law. Yeah, it is starting to sprinkle now. I got started watching a TV show last night. I don't know how many of you all follow this show, 1,000 Pound Sisters. It started out for me of being just kind of this fun little funny, quirky little show about two overweight sisters who were working to try to lose weight, have surgery, and it has evolved. And now this past season has been really more of a case study of I hate to even use the word narcissist. Here comes the garbage truck. Right up in this driveway till they go by me, because I'm kind of in an area that I don't really have a whole lot of room to get around them. See here, I would love to have this property that I've pulled into right here. I don't know if the family would ever sell it. I don't have the money to buy it, of course, but if I did, I would be right on it. It's just right below where I live now, but it's a lot roomier. I hope I can get backed out without going over the hill. Sorry you guys are having to hear me talk about stuff that's not related to what I came on here to talk about. I don't want to use the word narcissist, but I guess in a way it's kind of related to narcissism. This Tammy character, or she's not a character, she's a real person. But I don't know how much of her story is real and how much of it is for the show. We never know with these types of reality shows that are not really reality. But I'll say this, no matter whether her character on the show and her real person in her real life, if she's really playing a role for the TV or if that's what she, who she really is, she has visibly her health is getting worse. She is gaining weight. She goes to these doctors, they put her on the scale. She's gaining weight. She had gotten down to a place where she would probably have been given the weight loss surgery, but I don't think she wants the weight loss surgery, because here's the thing about that. Just like the video that I made and posted this morning about this nurse seeking this attention, and how these types of people, whether they're narcissists or they're just attention seekers, behaving this way gets them attention. Now, whether this part of the story is written for the show or if it's reality, real reality, not TV reality, the brothers and sisters, and the mother's unable to care for her, the brother and sisters have all pretty much exhausted their ability to care for her. She pushes them away. She fights with them. She starts arguments. And every one of her siblings has taken a turn trying to help her. And she refuses. But it gets her the negative attention that she seeks. She can't get the good, positive attention. If you watch, for anybody who hasn't watched it, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it for you, but she often says she just wants to be happy and she just wants love. So she seeks these men out online. Excuse me. Excuse me, Scammy must be nearby with her cigarette. I got choked. She seeks these men out on these websites that are for like supersized plus big beautiful women, the men that love them, you know. So she seeks men out that she wants to love her, but they're just wanting that gratification that they get from whatever it is, sexual or being able to intimidate someone that they have power over. I don't know what it is. But I'm not saying that a supersized, big, beautiful woman or man cannot be loved or cannot find a real partner who would love them. But to go on a website that's basically a sex fetish website, seeking a partner who loves big, beautiful women, she's seeing the word love and she's thinking, I'm going to find a boyfriend who's going to love me and want to be with me as a partner. And they're just wanting the love in their minds is just loving what they are going to get from that person, you know. But it still gets her attention. And here's one reason why I think she doesn't really want the weight loss surgery is because she fights with her siblings because she needs them. Come over, bring me food, go to the grocery store, get me this, take me here, do this, do that. She demands it of them and they give in and they go because they know she can't do it on her own and she doesn't really have anybody else. They even hired her a person to come in and help her, and she started trying to push that woman away, you know. But so in my mind, the way I'm looking at it is she knows if she has the surgery and she begins to lose weight to the point that she's able to become more mobile and she's able to get out more and clean her own house and bathe herself and do the things that a normal person would do. She knows that she won't have the excuse to boss them around and demand things of them, and also she knows that they wouldn't have anything to do with her. She believes in her mind that the only way to keep them around her is to stay overweight because she's become the victim, you know. Look at me, I'm not able to drive. Look at me, I'm not able to cook for myself. Look at me, I can't even... And she said something on one episode of the show recently that her siblings should be more grateful that she's not bedfast and that they're having to wipe her butt and bath her in the bed. Well, that's coming. For anyone who does happen to watch this show, on the last episode, and I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it, she came to her sister's new home to visit and couldn't even get out of the van to go inside to see the new home. She was in so much misery sitting there, and you could visibly tell that even since the last episode that they showed her on, they were saying that like 2 months had passed, and you could tell that she had gained so much more weight. So I don't know. I know a lot of people say you're taking this way too seriously. This is just a reality TV show, but it's really not just a reality TV show. They can fake relationships. They can fake someone, flying across the country to meet someone on Catfish or something like that. But you can't fake visible obesity. You can see it. And the show was supposed to have been about these two sisters. It's starting this weight loss program. They went to Georgia and met with this doctor who is kind of like Dr. Nalzardan. He specializes in super obese people. And they both went down to meet with him. They started on his program. The one sister, Amy, ended up losing like 200 pounds. She got the weight loss surgery. And then she got pregnant almost immediately after having the weight loss surgery. I mean, she probably lost 100 pounds, but then she got pregnant. And any woman of childbearing age who's ever looked into having weight loss surgery or who has had it knows that one of the stipulations is they don't want you to get pregnant. I don't know how many years it is after surgery. I think maybe, I've heard 4 years. Some people say 2. I would say more like 4 would be more accurate, because the first year is going to be weight loss. The second year is going to be that plateau where you've gotten to the point that your weight loss has slowed, and you have to stay on top of it and learn how to maintain the weight that you've lost. So the second year is kind of like the learning curve, you know. You've lost all the weight by the surgery has pretty much helped you to lose the weight. And the second year is like, okay, your weight loss has come to a plateau. Now it's time for you to start doing the work. And she didn't do that. She got pregnant very soon. And she put back on some of her weight. And in the last show, sorry for spoiler alert here, if you don't want to know, if you watch, I'm sorry I've spoiled it for everybody. But in the last show, she went back to the doctor. She was up to 275. He wanted her to be under 250 at that point. She was up to 275. Her son is almost a year old now, so she can't use baby fat and baby, having been pregnant as that excuse anymore. And now she's trying to get pregnant again at 275. So the doctor advised her to wait 6 months, try to lose that extra weight, that 50 or 60 extra pounds over the next 6 months before she starts trying to get pregnant. So I don't know. And I know everybody's like, this woman's crazy. This woman believes all this stuff. This woman, I know a lot of it is contrived. I know a lot of what, like they send them out to like a health spa or send them to like have a dinner at some restaurant or something. That's made up part for the show. But the weight loss and stuff is real. I mean, you can look at them and see if they've gained or they've lost, And then their brother, he had the weight loss surgery recently too, and he's doing really well. He's only a couple of months from having had it, but he's lost quite a bit of weight already. And their older sister, she also had the weight loss surgery a few years ago, and she's heavy still, but not obese heavy, But anyway, I don't even know how I got started talking on this subject. It's like comparing this story to the story I shared last night about attention seeking. So in my mind, this character, or I keep referring to her as a character because she is a real person, Tammy. She has gained weight. I would absolutely hate to think that the producers of the show, TLC, would have encouraged her, because it would make for better ratings and make for a better story. But I follow a group on Reddit about this show and about my 600-pound life, and they also talk about my 600-pound life, how if you go back to the very early part when the show first started, the patients in those shows, they were ready to have their surgery when the show began to show them. They'd already gone to the doctor, they'd already done all that leg work, and they were going in to have their surgeries or getting prepared to have their surgeries. And then it follows them through their weight loss journey, through after surgery. Now, if you watch the show in the last couple of years, it's more about these people going to see the doctor for the first time and following their story from the beginning. And many of them end up not even getting the surgery during the time that the show is airing because they don't meet the requirements. They don't lose the weight. Many of them continue to gain weight. They're addicts. They're food addicts. Many of them are pain pill addicts. I know there was a story going around on Facebook on the CMC awareness pages recently about her CMC saying you cannot be overweight and be an addict. Well, that's not true at all. I shared a story recently about one character on that show. His name was Robert Bushell, I think, maybe something like that was his last name. He weighed 900 pounds when he started the show. And he was absolutely addicted to Dilaudid. He was absolutely addicted to prescription pain pills. He begged for the prescription pills during the show. What this guy's pointing at my car for? There she comes. There's the crazy lady. Let this guy get around me. Sorry, y'all. I was trying to let this man walk on by me before I could pull in the parking lot. But yeah, many of these people on these shows are addicts. I think that this Tammy character, there I go again, calling her a character. She's an addict. She's absolutely an addict. They don't show it on the show, but I think if they admitted to it and talked about it, they would admit that she is on pain pills. There was one reference to her having not had her pain pills to take during one episode when her caregiver wanted her to walk. They had gone to like the local YMCA or something for a swim class. She wanted her to walk back outside to get into her wheelchair, and she wouldn't. And she wanted her to bring the wheelchair to her right at the swimming pool so she could ride out and be pushed out on this wet surface. Because she was afraid of walking on it. I guess she was afraid to fall. But she later admitted that the reason why she didn't want to walk is because she was in so much pain and didn't have her pain pills. So she's also an addict. And I know everybody's wondering, why are you talking about this? What does this have to do with anything? I'm sorry if I'm making fun of y'all's voices. That's just how I hear everybody in my head. I'm just joking, everybody. But I'm talking about it because it's just one more example of addictive behavior. It's one more example of attention-seeking behavior. I know that everybody believes that every overweight person in the world has some childhood trauma that led to this. And it's probably true that some have. And if you watch these shows like Intervention, these people will say, I was raped as a child, or, my grandpa died right in front of me and it traumatized me, They always have some underlying reason why they're traumatized. And they turn to drugs, or they turn to being promiscuous sexually, different partners. They turn to food. They turn to whatever, Well, that's not always the case. You look at this family. There's 5 siblings here. And all 5 of them are overweight. Now, there's one older sister that has never been mentioned if she's had any kind of weight loss surgery or not, but she's not what you would really call obese. While she's a little heavier, She's not obese. And the younger 4 siblings are all obese or have had weight loss surgery to not no longer be obese. So what's they none of them have ever mentioned anything about a father. I don't think I've ever heard any of them mention anything about a father if they have the same dad. But they always talk about their mom worked a lot and she wasn't around much, and their grandmother raised them and took care of them. And they often refer to their grandmother having cooked for them quite a bit. They talk about she made pancakes, and on one episode they just talk about how they sat at the table and just continued to eat, and she just kept making pancakes, and they would sit there and just eat, and they sit there for 3 hours eating pancakes. Their grandmother would continue to make them for them. And so was it a matter of grandmother wanting to love, wanting to get their love, or prove to be more important to them than their mother? I'm doing all these like psychological studies, or was it just that these kids were like, more pancakes, Grandma? And Grandma's like, I wish you children would go outside and play. I'm tired of cooking. But anyway, I got started talking about that. I'm going to post this video on my YouTube channel. But I just wanted to talk about it because it's just another example of narcissistic behavior, or maybe not even narcissism. We can't say narcissism for every flaw that every human being has, or for every poor judgment that every human being makes. We can't blame it on narcissism, but many of us have addictive behaviors. I myself have struggled with my weight. I have gone through periods of time where I've done so well and I've stuck to this really healthy regimen and I've lost a lot of weight and I've maintained it and I've kept healthy and exercised. And then I fall away from that and I go back into my bad habits, eating junk food and eating fast food. And depression plays a role in a lot of that. And I'm struggling right now. The video I made yesterday that I decided not to post was all about struggling with finances and things going on in my private life that are very hard to deal with right now. And I find myself becoming depressed to the point that I just don't want to walk. I don't want to get out of the house. Making these videos is kind of a way of just passing the time, have something to talk about, share my thoughts and opinions with other people. And one part of that video that I made yesterday was about how there has become this fear amongst people in the CMC awareness pages. There's this fear to even ever mention that you yourself maybe are having financial problems, because you don't want anyone to think that you are dry begging or that you are trying to make people feel sorry for you to the point that they would give in and give you money. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I would never accept money from anybody. If I earned it, and that's one thing also, is that a lot of the pages grow to the point that they are offered to become monetized. My page is nowhere near that, so I don't have to worry about that. But would you turn that down if you were offered to be monetized on your YouTube channel or on your Facebook? Would you say, "Nah, I don't need that money. I don't have to pay my power bill. I don't need to eat. I don't need to buy oil change for my car," because people are scared to death to mention anything to do with money, because for one, they don't want other people attacking them and saying, "You're just a scammer, you're just a beggar, you're just like CMC." And on the other hand, you don't want them to say, "You're making money off of her, you shouldn't be doing that." So everybody just kind of stays hush-hush. And then you have people who do go into the pages and say, I'm struggling right now. I'm having a really hard time. You know, you have characters. I don't know why I keep saying characters. I'm stuck on like TV shows. But you have real people, like, say, for example, this Margaret lady who Shane had on. And she talks about her child being sick and how CMC scammed her out of money or whatever it was that she did to her. And people feel so sorry for her, and they're like, let's rally together and let's help this woman. Let's send money. Let's start a GoFundMe. And then later, they find out something about her, and they all start saying, well, she's scamming too. You know, she was making that whole story up. It's like the woman who Jane had on that said she was living on a porch, and that CMC had done a fundraiser for her and then kept the money. And everybody started saying she was lying. And another example, I'm gonna make another video. I was waiting to try to find out more information about this before I make this video, but it's a very recent story about a man who went missing in Nashville, Tennessee. Some of you may have seen it shared on the pages. And yesterday there was a change in the story, and I was kind of waiting to look for more info before I talked about it, because I didn't want to just share part of the story and not wrap it up. But I am going to wrap this up. I didn't mean for this video to run this long. I never do. I always say, I'm going to talk for about 10 minutes, then turn my phone off. I end up talking for 45 minutes. Because I never hush, I guess. But I appreciate all the people who do take the time to listen to my videos. I know some people don't, because I don't get on the camera and fix the lighting and make sure my makeup and my hair is done right and, you know, whatever. I've never made a video like that. I started making these videos about 3 years ago, and I've always just talked. It's always just been me talking, sharing my story, sharing my thoughts on stories like this. And some people don't have time to listen, and some do. And I appreciate everybody who does. The 4 or 5 of you all. Or however many. I have some videos that have higher views, but just like with the TV shows and just like with CMC, the more drama you add, the more people come to flock. But that's human nature. We're all drawn to that. That's why so many of us are drawn to CMC, because we want to see what crazy BS story she makes up next, and what crazy, how crazy the supporters are to believe in it. But I thank the ones of you all who believe in me and follow me and listen to me. And I try to follow back when I can. If you have a page, let me know. And I do want to mention one person. If you are on YouTube, please go follow this page called Tales from the Narc Side. I don't know this woman personally, but she's a fellow Kentuckian, and I've been watching her for a couple of years now. She talks about narcissism, but she also talks about, she's kind of like me, conspiracy stories, but she doesn't make really, really long videos like I do, so you'll be happy that you don't have to sit there for hours. But if you want to learn about narcissism, there's another page that I follow, a channel called Narcology Unscripted. He was one of the first ones that I started watching, and he utilizes religion and faith and Christianity into healing. And so I'm going to go now. I appreciate everybody who stuck around, and everybody have a really good day.